Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're going to be talking about how to create a beginner friendly curly hair regimen, and this is just going to be a guideline to get you started. So if you're a curly girl, you should have a curly hair routine in place, but if you don't, or you're struggling with the one you currently have, then this video is for you. I do want to point out that no one regimen is going to be the same, just depending on your specific hair needs. So not everyone's curly hair regimen is going to be exactly the same. So just keep that in mind. Also, please know that curly hair regimens can change over time, just depending on how your hair reacts. For example, my hair reacts differently in the summertime than it does in the wintertime. So I kind of have to switch up my regimens quite a bit throughout the different seasons. So yeah, grab some paper and a pen and let's jump right in with step number 1. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to decide when and how often you want to cleanse your hair. And by cleanse, I mean wash. So do you want to do this every week, every 2 weeks, every month, etc.? Just pick your day and pick your frequency, but whatever day you choose, make sure you're not busy on that day, because depending on your hair, it could be a lengthy process. Also, you got to decide whether you want to use shampoo or a cleansing conditioner, which is basically co-washing. So with me, for example, I like to use a sulfate-free shampoo every month. So once a month with that, and then in between that time, every week I do co-washes. So step number 2 is to condition your hair after every single wash. So obviously whatever day you choose to wash your hair is going to be the same day that you obviously condition your hair. But what you need to decide here is how you're going to detangle your hair. Do you want to detangle your hair with your fingers? Do you want to use a wide tooth comb? Do you want to use like a wet brush or a Denman brush? Things like that, different tools. Also, you got to decide, do you want to detangle your hair on wet hair or dry hair? Are you going to detangle inside the shower or outside the shower? There's lots of different ways you can detangle your hair. It really doesn't matter what your preference is, just as long as you're comfortable with it. But either way, just make sure you also follow up your wash day with conditioner. Okay, so the third step is to decide how often you're going to deep condition your hair. If you're not deep conditioning, hold up, stop. Make sure you add deep conditioning to your curly hair regimen. It is important. Yes, deep conditioning is meant to repair damage, but it's not necessarily meaning that your hair has to have damage in order for you to deep condition it. You need to deep condition on a regular basis. That's how your hair stays healthy. I talked about this plenty of times on my channel. So once again, you got to decide on the frequency of your deep conditioning routine. So do you want to deep condition every week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, every month? It just totally depends on you. So some other things you want to kind of take into account here is the type of treatment that you want to do. Are you going to do protein treatments or are you going to do moisture treatments? And you have to kind of play with your hair to see which one your hair can take. Usually everyone can do moisture treatments, but not everybody can do protein treatments. For example, I can't do protein treatments because my hair is protein sensitive, so it's on the protein sensitive side. So I tend to stray away from protein hair masks and gravitate more towards those with moisture in it. On top of that, you need to decide how you're going to deep condition your hair. Are you going to use a bunnet or a hooded dryer? Are you going to use a steamer? Are you going to do it overnight? Are you going to deep condition while you're in the shower? There's several different ways that you can deep condition your hair, but just make sure you choose which one that you're most comfortable with. And then lastly, you need to figure out how long you plan on deep conditioning your hair. Like if you have a lot of time and you don't have really much going on that day, then you can take advantage of that day and do a full deep conditioning treatment on your hair. I suggest doing it at least 30 minutes minimum, and then no more than an hour, especially if you're using indirect heat sources like a bunnet dryer or a steamer. So you don't really need to go longer than an hour if you're using a tool like that, but at least 30 minutes every time you deep condition. Okay, so the fourth step goes back to your wash day. So you need to figure out which styling products you want to apply after you wash your hair so that you can moisturize your hair and seal in that moisture. There's different type of products out there, such as leave-ins, moisturizers, stylers, and oils. So you don't have to use all 4 of those, for example, that I just gave you. You don't have to use all of them. And as a matter of fact, I find that when you use less product, your hair is more it's more lifelike. It can move around more, it can move, and that's just with my experience. Again, it may not be the same case for you, but I just find that when I use less products in my hair on wash day, then it really lets my hair breathe, you know. Then decide, are you going to apply your products on drenching wet hair, or are you going to apply it on dry hair, or not dry hair but damp hair? There is a difference, and you do get different results depending on whether you do, you know, apply it on damp hair versus drenching wet hair. For example, with me, when I apply my products on drenching wet hair, I get the best results. I get the most definition with the least amount of frizz, and my hair just overall looks much better, and my hair can absorb all the moisture and the nutrients from the products that I put in it. Whereas when I put it on damp hair, it kind of creates a little frizz, and you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it doesn't give me the definition that I want at times. And there's pros and cons with both ways. So if you are applying products on drenching wet hair, just know that it's going to take a lot longer for your hair to dry. And if you do it on damp hair, say for instance you are washing your hair and you've got somewhere to go, you got to run some errands, maybe applying your products on damp hair that day may work out best for you, because it's not going to take as long to dry. So again, it's just all based on personal preference here and what your demands are at the time. So just, you know, you can switch it up as you go along. You know, you don't have to religiously stick to every single step. You just, you know, tweak it and switch it up on what your hair needs at the moment. Also, you've got to decide how you want to style your hair. Are you going to do a wash and go, or are you going to put your hair into a protective style like a twist out or a braid out or something? So take into account how long your style is going to last. For example, in the winter time for me, I know that my hair cannot go longer than 5 days with the wash and go, because it starts to look a little dull and it just looks like it's time for me to wash it. So know your hair. And with protective styling, these styles tend to last a little bit longer, so they kind of free up a little bit more time for you. So just kind of monitor your hair and how it responds to different hairstyles. Just make sure you keep up with how long you can go with wash and goes. That's an important thing to know. And if you do choose to style your hair in a wash and go, decide whether or not you want to air dry or whether you want to diffuse. Again, it's totally up to you. Step number 5, this is all about your morning routine. You have to refresh your curls every morning. All curly girls do. We don't just roll out the bed and go. It doesn't work like that. So you're going to have to refresh your curls in the morning. So you can either do this by just spraying some water in your hair with a spray bottle, or you can reapply products if you need to. Usually for me, I can get away with just spritzing my hair with water in the morning, because that will kind of reactivate the product that I already put into my hair on wash day, and it kind of like gives it new life, you know. So just try either way out and see which one works best for you. So obviously the next step, step 6, is about your nighttime routine. So you need to have a good established nighttime routine to protect your hair overnight while you sleep. All curly girls should be sleeping on either a satin or silk pillowcase, a bonnet, or a scarf. One of the 3, you choose. Get rid of those cotton pillowcases. I'm telling you, that's not going to work for you. I've stressed this plenty of times on my channel, especially in my updated nighttime routine video, which I'll have linked if you haven't checked that out. But make sure you're sleeping on either satin or silk, no cotton. And then, so that your hair won't dry out overnight, decide whether you want to apply like a light oil to your hair or a light moisturizer on your ends, just to kind of, you know, keep them moisturized. And then lastly, you need to decide how you're going to protect your hair at night. Is your hair long enough to put into a pineapple, or should you put your hair in a bun, you know? Or if you have protective styling going on, maybe you should put your hair in twist, and you can do a twist out in the morning. So you just need to make sure you're protecting your hair overnight while you're sleeping. The last step I have for you guys is when to trim your ends. This is totally up to you. If you notice you get a lot of split ends, you might have to trim more often than others. So this could be anywhere from every 3 months, every 6 months, every year. There's really no right or wrong answer to this. Just kind of monitor your ends and make sure that you're keeping them hydrated and healthy. But if you see any damaged ends or anything like that, go ahead and snip those off, because it's not going to repair itself. You can't repair heat damaged ends or split ends or anything like that. They're not going to magically bind back together. So you want to cut that off, because if you have split ends and you're not trimming your hair regularly, then those split ends could start going up your hair strands, and it's gonna continue breaking your hair off, and it's not a good thing. So make sure you're trimming your hair regularly, whatever that means for you. Okay guys, so those are all my steps to creating a simple curly hair regimen. Again, this is just a guideline for you to use to establish one if you don't have one already, but feel free to take away from it or add to it as you see fit. But at least try it out for 1 month using the same products. That way you can really test it out to see if it really works for you. And just to give you kind of an idea of what my regimen is, it currently consists of me moisturizing my hair with water on the daily every morning, and then moisturizing my ends every night with like a light oil like jojoba oil or something like that. And then every week I will condition and tangle my hair, as well as deep condition, but sometimes I tend to do that every 2 weeks. And then monthly I make sure to use a sulfate free shampoo to cleanse my hair. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what my current regimen is. It may not work for you, but like I said, just go back and tweak some things. Again, you don't have to follow it religiously, but it is a good idea for you to kind of stay on track with that and at least give it a chance to see if it does work for you. So again, just go back through these steps to kind of create your own perfect regimen. It may take you some time if you're new to this, but once you figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, you'll pretty much get the hang of it really quickly. Oh, and real quick before I go, I did want to mention that I do have a new blog post on my website all about my curly hair products that you see over here. So if you're interested in seeing all of my current curly hair products that I own, then head on over to my website. I'll have it linked in the info box. And then also, if you haven't noticed, I did create a new vlog channel called CurlyNiqueNique TV. So make sure you head over there. I'll also have that link down below. So make sure you go subscribe to my vlog channel and keep up with me there. I'll be posting my pregnancy updates over on that channel, and any kind of random vlogs that doesn't really necessarily fit into my main channel here. So if you're interested in keeping up with me and my life, then head on over to that channel and subscribe. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you're new, and again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.